We are live. We chilling, but we live.
Good night, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to Peaches and Dream podcast on this wonderful Tuesday. May the 4th be with you. Yeah, I'm so extra.
Fifth flow. Roman, the fifth flow. Oh, my
And
hand looks
tomorrow's
bad.
Cinco de Mayo, people. Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, it is Cinco de Mayo. See if there's like some really good restaurants with some really good deals on, a Mexican meal or something. Ooh, girl, what I want to try?
Some pollo con arroz, some chicken and rice. What?
Okay.
Pollo is chicken.
I know what the fuck it was. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, pollo con arroz. That's pollo is chicken with arroz is rice.
Oh shit! And Selena, speaking of Cinco de Mayo, season 2 is coming back on Netflix.
You said what?
Selena season 2.
What was girl? I missed season 1. The only Selena I know is the movie about Selena the singer. What
Netflix.
Huh?
They have a whole show on Netflix.
Are you serious?
See, and everything. So let me share the screen so we can. Oh no. Yeah, show that you just.
That was the thing. I had no idea that they actually had a show. Like, I ain't even gonna hold you.
Girl.
When you're gone. This time. You okay. Come on, we're doing this again. You're my husband, big family, and to be okay.
I love you, Selena.
It's too long. I haven't had the chance to. If I do, I wish I could.
Your sister will always need us, no matter how long. We have to keep an eye on her, and she thinks we don't.
No one can do everything alone. Let me help. I'm worried they're gonna split up. We're supposed to lift each other up. We both want what each other wants, right?
I don't know why you have to keep adding and adding.
You don't have to be alone to be in it.
Las caras, también somos en distintos lugares.
Many dreams. Embrace who you are and don't be afraid.
Who's that? Selena.
When you're gone, how do you want to be remembered?
Somebody wanted to be a role model, the best daughter, best friend, wife. You're remembered as somebody who.
Oh! Oh!
Alrighty. So that.
Oh, it's out now.
Huh?
Because Selena is Mexican. I thought they would have released it on. Girl.
Hold on. The service is a little choppy. Okay, you said you thought because she was Mexican, you thought they would have released it on Cinco de Mayo?
Yeah.
Girl, that's a biased way of thinking, I think.
It's Cinco de Mayo.
Oh man. But I think I'm gonna check that out because I actually did like Selena. I did. I like the movie too. It's just that whole situation was weird to me. The way she died, like.
How is it weird?
I mean, you know what? It is not weird when we could read shit like that in the Bible. It's not weird. Cause I'm like, yo, wasn't it the what was it? The president of her fans club that killed her, right?
And you see how they got playing Yolanda. I mean, it's nobody, special or anything. Obviously, they're gonna show that and how they're gonna play out her death and everything like that because Yolanda has Cena meet her at the motel because Yolanda had stolen records and she was supposed to go get them, but Yolanda, she was like saying that she had been sexually assaulted. So Selena went out of her way and, drove her to the hospital. And then the doctor, like, this woman hasn't been assaulted. So Selena came back to the hotel, back to her hotel room. She's like, look, give me my fucking records. So that was the actual point where Selena had actually fired her. She was already fired. She was already fired because, Selena's dad was her manager and he was just over everything. But Selena fired her because they didn't want to believe that, that was her friend. Everybody ain't your motherfucking friend.
Yep.
Everybody ain't your motherfucking friend. And didn't we say that at DMX's funeral?
Yep. And
damn. Everybody ain't your motherfucking. So yeah. So Selena, she fired Yolanda, and Yolanda pulled the gun out of her purse. This is how much I fucks with Selena. I know. Yolanda pulls the gun out of her purse, and Selena turns around to go out the door, shoots Selena in the back, and she shot her twice. She shot her in the back, her shoulder blade, and she shot her somewhere else. But yeah, she ended up bleeding out and passing away at the hospital. And Yolanda, she barricaded herself in her truck at the motel because what's up?
No, basically what I'm trying to figure out is it a situation where you're saying it in the show the way Selena died is different from how she really died?
No, I'm just saying, gonna are they gonna like cut everything out, or are they gonna show everything from she stepped out of the room and she was shot because that whole crime scene investigation, like whole shows about how Selena was murdered. So I wanted to know if they do everything down to the T of how Selena was killed.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. Wasn't she killed while performing? That's why I'm confused.
Like on stage?
Yeah, wasn't that what happened in the movie? I'm confused now.
No, it didn't seem that way. The white rose dropping on stage.
Oh,
He wasn't killed on stage. That's just that station.
Okay. So pretty much what you're trying to tell me is that when they made the movie Selena and they basically showed her performing and her getting shot, she didn't really that's not when and where she really died.
Not on stage.
In the movie.
No.
So the movie never shows, but that's what you saw the movie, right? The Selena movie. At the end, she was on stage singing her song, and then the girl, the president, what's her name, Yolanda? They made it seem like she was in the crowd and she pulled out the gun and shot her while she was on stage performing.
That is not how the movie.
I'm gonna have to ask my sister.
Go back now.
Loves that movie. I'm gonna have to ask my. I know I saw the movie when I was younger, but I'm definitely gonna have to ask my sister.
It's on. You still have my HBO, right?
You said if what?
You still have my HBO.
Yeah, I still have the HBO login. I don't be watching nothing, but it's on there. The movie, Selena?
Yeah. Go ahead and watch it.
I'm gonna revisit.
Watch that. Watch series.
I'm gonna revisit that because I'm like, honestly,
like yeah, she was dancing on stage, and then she smoked a crack pipe, and then she got shot, and then
you know what it is, and it's sad because I'm a Virgo, and I take everything. I take everything literally. Like, if they, in the movie, the way they portrayed it, I really thought that's how she died. And I'm like, that's fucked up. She was on there on that stage and like, You know, like
No, girl, we ain't hear no gunshots because it was just like she was just singing a song and singing when her "Dreaming of Me" song, and then the white rose fell on the stage, and it's like,
yeah,
oh my gosh, what happened? What happened? She just looked perplexed because it was just a scene that was in there. That had nothing to do with how she died. Oh, you.
girl. That's what I was like. I'm like, it's something messed up. Like, why would she kill her at her show? You know, I was a kid. Like, that's all I remember from that
Well,
movie.
that's
That's
why she
why.
did it while Selena was alone, because if anybody else was around, she knew she wouldn't have been able to do it. So yeah, that was. And then her English album was released, and she died in the 1995. So her family was overdrive because you know how long the movie was released in 1997. So
Yeah, because I would have been 7 years old back then.
mhm. So it was released, and that's my two favorite movies, Selena and Titanic. So Selena and Titanic were released in the same year.
That's crazy. And it's like those are movies that people have watched several times. But me, it's like I don't want to watch them again because they were sad. That's like you watching a scary movie over and over and over again. And it's you know what?
Titanic is sad to me, but more I think about are like, my nigga, let's just steal this lifeboat and get off this. But they went in the lifeboats on order of class and women and children only. Like, hell no, my husband coming with us, or we about to send another fucking out of here because this is some bullshit. But anyway, so yeah, Titanic is a scary, sad to me. But anyway, back to Selena. So yeah, Selena is on Netflix. It's a paid promotion, but Selena is on Netflix, and watch Selena the series season 2. I had no because I had no idea. If I'd have known, I was watching The Handmaid's Tale today. That's another series that had came back out. Have you seen that? You haven't seen The Handmaid's Tale, have you?
No, it's crazy because I was just thinking you basically telling me to watch them has me thinking like it reminds me of the reason why I don't watch
Oh,
shows. I don't watch shows on
oh,
a regular because I overthink, and then I'm on Google like, is this based off of a true story? Because I'm like, there wondering like, how does stuff like that happen to people? Like, how do people see like, girl, you laughing and smiling, and go, girl, I'm over here trying to avoid some crazy shit like that happening to me. I'm like. I mean, I know the racism that exists, but it's just the fact that they was really being driven crazy by this shit, you know?
mm-hmm.
Y'all go watch them. Since I had to watch it, y'all go watch it too.
So you finished it?
I finished it. I
Oh,
finished.
good, 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 because it took you a while to finish that shit. I'm like, damn, how long is it gonna take a shit? Because I wanted to live. Well, now that you finished them, we can talk about it. Okay, so I didn't write any notes, and I didn't I didn't, write any notes to break everything down. But what was the most shocking part of the series of the season for you?
The whole damn thing was shocking to me because I'm like, it's sad
I forgot
because
you scary as
for
hell.
one, it's like, yeah, I don't like stuff like that because it's like I literally was like, I only got one nail left. Like I was biting my nails. I'm like stressed out because I'm like, because for one, I'm thinking based off of what I read in the beginning, it basically said based off of like a true story. But then I looked it up and they said it's not really a true story. They said that stuff didn't really exactly happen like that and play out in real life. I went on
Well,
Google.
not for any like particular family, like that particular story, but black folks have tried to
Has
move
gone
into,
through stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah, trying to move into all white neighborhoods. They call it either the Great Migration, which is black folks moving from the south to the north, like New York, Chicago, Michigan, Detroit, and when they move out into the suburbs, they buy their first homes. This is black folks now. They buy their first homes, and white people, they feel like they need to flee. They call it the white flight. So that is, when black folks buy neighborhoods because was accurate and it made Compton to be an all white neighborhood at one point, as it was.
Mm.
Nobody can think about Compton being an all white neighborhood now because we got straight out of Comptons and niggas with attitude and fucking who else is from Compton?
I don't know, but a lot of rappers.
Yeah, Compton, Watts, Tyrese is from Compton. Like it was mad niggas in Compton still to this day, but in the 40s and the 50s and probably the beginning of the 60s, but mostly in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, like it was Wonder Bread land. And you can tell what, and I guess that's the overall outcome that they knew was going to happen or what they thought was going to happen. Like, there's no reason for you to be like, we're afraid of you. But when we buy property and we move into your neighborhoods, because of the conditioning of the local laws and shit just being fucked up for us and the racism and our schools and being, dilapidated and everything, if there's an influx of black people in an area, they feel like the property values are going to go down, the crime
The crime rate is going to go up. And then, the sad part is that a lot of the times it is accurate for whatever reason. But then again, they have to understand that based off of our background, that's what they set up for us, period. Like they freed us as slaves when we ain't own shit. So a lot of the times the only way we was able to get shit is if we stole shit. You understand? So
Mhm.
I do feel like because of that in itself, yes, we pretty much, a lot of black people have that bad reputation. So it's a sad truth. But then also, I don't appreciate the fact that they don't take responsibility for what they did to us. That is the reason why we are not, the way we are to begin with. Is, those of us who are fortunate enough to know better, we do better. But you do got people out there that basically just use the system and they fell under the Willie Lynch laws and rules, and whatever Willie Lynch wanted us to do, they do it. Because they so brainwashed and programmed, and they don't see beyond what they wanted us to see. That's why it's good to have woke motherfuckers, because half of these motherfuckers still sleep, and it's the sad truth.
Mm. But yeah, I really don't get the boldness of white folks. Like people pay money for their homes. So what really makes you, what gives you the right to think that you can get a whole bunch of fucking chairs and radios and sit out in front of somebody's house and disturb their peace?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like you ain't got shit else to do. They ain't have shit else to do. These white bitches, these white bitches, they ain't have shit else to do. Their husbands go to work, go to their clan meetings, and these hoes sit at home all fucking day thinking of how to drive the niggas out of the neighborhood.
That whole show was heavy, and I'm like, it's sad because they really really went through that. Like, it's, well, not them particularly, but there's real black people that actually had to go through life and experience stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be so thankful, because I'm like, with my way of thinking, I don't know if I could live like that. With my way of thinking, like, they probably would
I
have
couldn't
killed my
have come
ass.
up in that time. I couldn't have come up
They
in
would have
that
killed my
time.
ass a long time ago because of my goddamn self.
Bitch, look, I'd have been shot all out in my yard because look, because that scene where she went out with that gun, da, 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 like they literally drive us fucking crazy. Our
Hold
trauma
up,
drive,
let's talk about Betty. What's her name?
bitch
The
Betty,
white, the white one who
bitch Betty, yeah,
the
Betty the
neighbor,
bitch,
the one who lived across the street,
Betty the bitch, yeah.
who basically, she didn't have no kids, and she basically went to the milkman thinking the milkman was gonna help her, and the milkman fucking killed
Yo, that is some motherfucking karma.
the
And I'm
milkman
like,
abducted her
I know they
basically.
bitch went out like Like she really thought that she was the shit and she was gonna, cheat on her husband and, have this other white man, get these niggas out the neighborhood. And she thought she was just going over there for tea. No. Cause I'm like, how did he afford this bunker? Where did he get this land from? What's going on?
But you know what it is? You talking about the milkman?
Yeah.
For one, if you think about it, the way how they was living was no different than how, what was the husband and Luck and her man? It was no different than how they were living, because remember when they was living with the little boy, they lived in this big house with this whole big empty space. And in the South, that's how the South was at one point, from if I'm not mistaken. You from Charlotte, you should know.
Yeah, but I was confused because they weren't in the South, they were in California.
No, but when they had that incident, that was in North Carolina, supposedly. You
Oh
remember
yeah.
Yeah, but when they lived in Compton, their houses was, side by side by side. But wherever the milkman lived, it was like out in the country,
Yeah.
But that's,
Yeah.
it's crazy because she was like, like when she had came out, like she thought she was free. I thought she was gonna get away.
No.
She running and she basically thinking
Karma
she
is
escaping
a
her
stone
abductor.
cold bitch. Karma is a stone cold bitch. Your husband's gay. You can't have any kids. Your daddy playing with your butthole. And then you get kidnapped by your milkman, and then you got killed by your milkman. So yeah, you pretty much deserve that shit, bitch. Like, I love the part where she gets slapped, but like everything else that came on after that, it was well deserved, and I loved it. So yeah. Yeah, I hated that shit.
It's
Like,
sad
how
because
you gonna call me a
even
nigger in front of
me,
my kids? Bitch, how you gonna call me a nigger in front of my kids? Nigger. What?
it's crazy because in my head, I was hoping that her ass made it home so that this way they could see that she was alive and well, and then they would have felt stupid for fucking with the black people, thinking that it
They
was the
still,
black people. But then they fucking killed her. Then I'm like, now they gonna think it was the black people for real.
yeah, like watch him set her body somewhere and be like on the front lawn. Like, oh, they killed her and then her body's on the front lawn, and they wouldn't have known. They wouldn't have known. But there is a season 2. So I'm curious to find out. Yes. They haven't started shooting it yet, but it will be, a season 2. Just like there's going to be a season 2 of Lovecraft Country, but we don't know anything yet. So, what else from the series? Oh, the daughter doing whiteface. Ew.
It was so crazy because it was a whole bunch of they all had the same issue, all of them. They all was seeing people, even like the older one, she was trying to act like she wasn't, seeing nothing and nothing was wrong. But then basically I realized she was seeing people when, that little, that white girl that kept coming to her out the blue. Remember they was in a janitor's closet and they was talking. And next, the janitor came in, and then when the janitor came in, it was just her.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, so her ass be seeing people too. But yeah.
And then the youngest daughter, she had her, was it Miss Vera from her book or whatever?
Yeah. And
The,
honestly, I was thinking Miss Vera was the lady who killed the boy. But it's crazy because remember she was singing that song? Because remember when the lady who killed the boy, when they came?
Old Smokey Joe. I had to look that shit up. I was like,
That
but
song.
it was like more of a folk song, like an Americana folk song. I thought it was more like those racist songs, like why is my light going in and out? Like any meeny miny mo, catch a nigger by the toe, if he hollers let him go. Like that. I thought it was more like that, but it's just like Old Smokey Joe and all that shit. I don't like this. I thought Miss Vera was actually her teacher from school. But
No,
then the
I
mom,
thought Miss Vera was. For some reason I thought Miss Vera would have. Remember when she asked who taught you that song? She's like Miss Vera, but I'm thinking that maybe that white lady who came in. That's crazy. And I'm trying to figure out, where did I send you that info? I think it was on Messenger. But it's, like when it comes down to racism, it's like we really have to think about it. But it's crazy because if you think about their history, you see what happened to her, in the first house. How basically somebody came to her house and they was able to take advantage of her, abuse her, freaking murder her son right in front of her face. Did they also rape her too? Is that what that was in episode 5? Like that. Oh, we wasn't supposed to say the R word. I'm sorry. But yes, that's crazy.
Girl, I've been saying nigga this whole fucking life. Anyway.
Yeah.
Nigga. Makes my teeth white. Nigga. No, I'm just kidding. As a comedian joke. If you know it, you know it. But yeah, so the dad facing the racism at work. I don't
Yeah.
know how he became an engineer in the country of fucking North Carolina, but yeah. And he was the only black guy at what except for the janitor. I hate companies like that. The only black people they employ is the help until a more professional, a more qualified black person comes to work, and then you want to treat them like shit. He wasn't even gonna get nobody's bonus. Did you see that part?
Mm-hmm.
And then he ended up breaking into his boss house, but everybody got all excited. They weren't even going to invite him to the little office party because at the office party, they were going to announce that the engineers were going to get that bonus. So dude told him it was like, oh, the bonus isn't for you, or something happened. And it was so fucking funny when he broke into it. Was a lot of plot holes because after he broke into that guy's house and he left, and then the other white guy walked up to him. So he shoots a white guy in broad daylight and nobody sees or says anything.
The police officer, right?
After before the police officer, he killed the other white guy.
I didn't know. No, basic. Hold on, wait. So you're talking about when he went to the boss's house, and then the guy was like, "Hey, I don't think he killed him. He just knocked him out." Right?
Did he knock him out? I thought he killed him. My bad.
Basically, what he did was he ran. The guy walked away, and he ran him from behind. And
he did.
Back of the head.
He did.
Speaking of punching in the back, we were just low key in that conversation about being punched in the back of the head while walking away.
Wait a minute. Say that again.
Remember, we was just talking about getting punched in the back of the head. Off air conversation.
Yes, yeah. Oh yeah.
But he when the guy had said something to him and he walked away, he was literally walking away about his business and he ran up and punched him. But he didn't kill him. I think he definitely knocked him out though.
Okay, so he did kill the cop, yeah, because it showed up on the news. Yeah, but I think the cop might have been the only white person that might have been on their side because the cop was like, the cop was being, the typical white person.
Actually, the cop had to be on their side because what their plan was, because if you notice with that whole show, the plan of what they were doing was they was bringing in black people into neighborhoods and then they were selling them houses, but the mortgage rates that they were offering them was 20% when everyone else was getting like 4%. You understand? So they were trying to, yes. So basically, you didn't, girl. So basically, when they sat at the table and it was all the realtors, I want to say, or whatever they were, and they were sitting there, or probably bankers, and she was the only female. She was trying to tell them that wasn't a good idea. So pretty much what their goal was to charge people like black people more. And when they charge black people more, a lot of the times when they get into a neighborhood, when a black person moves in, the value of the house goes up more. But then people are going to start moving out and then more black people are going to start moving in. And what's going to happen is either the black people are going to be able to pay the 20% interest, or they're going to default. He was like, if they pay us, we win. If they default, we win. Because remember, if they default, they get to take the house back, and whatever money they got already was theirs, and all they're going to do is go and resell that house. Mm-hmm. So that was the whole plan. Now, where the officer came into place, which they actually needed the officer because the officer was going to help control the violence. If you notice, he was an asshole, but he was like making sure that the black people were protected. Like he, even when when they came and the other officers was manhandling them. Remember when the wife pulled the gun? He was doing? So basically, but he was getting a cut because of the fact that he was doing everything he could to control the violence. Pretty much he said a race war. he was like, and the lady was telling him like, oh, I want out. He was like, you ain't getting out. You ain't getting out till it's done. So basically, he wanted the money. So he was in it for the money.
Mm-hmm.
But his job, but the thing was that they didn't know that, of course, but they needed that police officer because that was the only person who could really save them. Because
Exactly.
anytime something was happening, they was dispatching him as the officer because
Oh
that
yeah,
was
he
his
did get
thing.
in that white woman's face. He did get in that. It's nothing you never seen before.
Yeah, and even he knew all the dirt because even with the husband, Betty's was her name, Betty's husband, when she left, he was like, oh, I seen you in those bars. He was like, yeah,
Yeah.
he said those bars seem to look like every other bar, don't it? Seems to be a miss. Like basically, he was letting him know, like, I know the shit you be doing, so keep
Mm-hmm.
talking. Yeah,
But
that was it was real good. It
it
was real.
was. It was a really good series. Now, did any of that remind you of like the way it's produced and the style and the way the show looks? And did it remind you of Us or Get Out? Because they were comparing them to Us, but
No, doubt no, because Us was the one where they would basically take the people's brains and stuff.
no, that's Get Out.
Oh, that's Get Out. So what's Us?
Us is
I don't think I saw it.
I could have sworn I told you to watch Us.
You told me to watch them.
But then again, look at the title. So
That's crazy, right? Us and them.
us and them, us and them. I'm like, there has to be some sort of fucking connection.
I didn't see Us, but
Okay, so you'll see the connection in like the title and the way that these shows are shot. A lot of people were comparing the visuals to Us and then these titles. Okay, so we have Us, them, Get Out. So us need to get away from them, so we need to get out
mhm.
or get us away from them. Whoa, bitch! Oh,
Yeah.
oh my god! Oh my god! Like it's so many ways you can play this shit because
Yeah.
us got get out. What in us was get out of the U.S.
Mm.
But then there's them. Get
Get
them
them out
out of the
of the
U.S.
U.S. Mm.
I'm a
Interesting.
fucking genius. I'm a fucking genius.
It's crazy. Somebody asked me recently, they was like, oh, what if they pass some type of law saying every black person got to leave and go back to Africa? And then I was like, for one, there's no proof. And this actually came up in the show because in the show, they asked the girl, the Dutch people, they was like, oh, where did your people, what language did your people speak? And
Oh yeah,
she's
trying
like,
to shame and
English.
shit.
She's like, English, because the first they asked her, oh, who taught you how to sew like that? She's like, my mom. And then she's like, oh, what language did your mom speak? And she's like, English. Like, why are you asking me that? Because basically they speak another language. My bad, my alarm went off. I'm supposed to be forex trading right now. Um, they basically was trying to say, they're not even from here. For one, they weren't from this land because they were from somewhere else, spoke a whole different language, right? So then
But
she
it
was like,
also
and
shows
even with
you,
with us, if it's a
yeah.
situation where even if our family did come from somewhere else, they took us away from our family. They purposely separated us. They split us up. There was no way for us to be able to have stuff that was passed down from tradition to tradition to tradition because we don't even know where our great grandparents are because y'all fucking took us away and did all types of weird shit.
Especially when it comes
You
to our
know,
language. She's
like
asked the language did your mother speak? Her
I
her
did.
her mother
I
really
can't hear
wasn't.
you.
You can't hear me?
Hold on. I don't know what happened, but I can't hear you.
I'm not muted.
That is weird. Did you mute at any point? It doesn't look like you're muted.
No, I wasn't. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I'm muted. Okay, I still can't hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I'm about to see what Facebook is looking like because if we can't hear you on Facebook either, that would mean it's your device. Uh-oh. What's going on?
Let me add myself back in. Does that do anything?
I can hear you now.
What's going on?
Okay, I can hear you now. Say something else.
Oh,
Yeah, I can hear you now.
okay. I took myself out and I put myself back in. Okay.
Yeah, something was wrong, but I can hear you now.
Talking about us, them, get out. What was I talking about?
Oh yeah, basically we was talking about with the how with the Dutch the people how they were from Dutch or whatever. Yeah, so they brought that up, and I'm like I think it's so crazy because they really basically make sure that they stripped us of our natural heritage. But then again, a lot of the times like a lot of people are saying that the reason why we speak English is because we were always here. Some people believe that we were literally always here. Like some people don't think that, and honestly, when you think about it, is that
We were like there were obviously Africans that were brought over,
but
and
there were some
but
original Americans that are actually dark
indigenous.
skinned.
And no, I'm not talking about the. If you really want to go back and be technical, looked before the country separated, we were all together because of evolution and the earth changing and separating, and the United, we're over here and down here. Everything was connected to Africa at one point. Why do you
Right.
think Africa and that whole continent? Because Africa is a continent of its own. So Africa, it's a little bit between Africa and Italy and Greece. That's why, and then the rest going through the Caucasus Mountains, and then Russia. They get lighter because they're in the cold and they're away from the equator. And then you have the United Kingdom, but then you have black folks that are over here in America. What was America called before?
Pangea. I don't even know why I want to say that, but what was America called before it was America?
Yeah, it was something
Turtle
else.
Island.
What?
What else? No.
Hey Google, what was America called?
Atlantis.
Was America?
Was it Atlantis?
Here are the top search results.
This was called Turtle Island. Yeah, we called it by our tribe.
Did you get an answer on Google?
Not really, because they're trying to put in my face Christopher Columbus in 1490. About before then, I know but I can't. Oh, she muted herself.
My bad. My bad. Did you find what was the answer? What was America called?
Girl, I got a whole bunch of Christopher Columbus shit. We know that bullshit too.
What you call it? I don't know. My daughter's father said the natives called it Atlantis. I mean shit, Turtle Island. I said Atlantis.
Turtle Island.
He said Turtle Island. Look it up. I don't know.
But you know what? Because I know we're getting off subject, but I think that all this shit connects. Atlantis. Have you heard about there being an underworld city under the sea called Atlantis?
They're being what under the sea?
Another world up under the sea called Atlantis.
I never heard of that.
Okay, so there's a Disney movie. What is this Disney movie? Voyage to Atlantis movie.
Is it so?
Atlantis, The Lost Empire.
The Lost
According to
Empire.
Wikipedia, Atlantis, The Lost Empire is a 2001 American animated science fantasy action adventure film created by Walt Disney Feature Animation, marking the 41st entry in the Disney canon and its first science fiction.
Okay, so Disney made a movie about it, but it's like legend, but it's been low key proven to be right. Is Atlantis a city up under the sea?
You're asking me or you're looking it up?
I'm looking it up.
Oh, okay, because I
Is
can't even tell you.
Atlantis a city up under the sea? I feel so stupid searching for this like
According
this.
to BBC, I don't think there's any question that the story of Atlantis is a myth, says Patrick Nunn, a geologist.
I don't believe that shit. Okay, so damn. I don't even know how to search for it. But yeah, so damn, what the fuck were we talking about?
We was trying to figure out
So
where Atlantis was, but what America also was known.
so if it was called Atlantis, which I don't think it was called Atlantis, I wouldn't be surprised because damn, because I'm about to go somewhere else. I don't know if you saw the article where the U.S. Navy has been saying more recently, maybe like for the past couple of weeks, they're saying that more UFOs have been seen.
I haven't heard about that recently.
Okay, so more UFOs have been seen, like in the past 2 weeks. More UFOs have been seen, and the government has been confirming that they are UFOs. So one of the people who saw the UFO, no, it's not one of the people. What am I saying? I think there's a scientist for the government. He's saying that he thinks, and he's just, he's theorizing. He thinks that the UFOs that people are seeing, they can fly above us, but they can go into the ocean and down into the center of the earth also. So that's why I was trying to connect Atlantis being at the bottom of the ocean and being a whole city civilization before time was time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if our people, our black ass people are indigenous to America,
Mm-hmm.
if we're indigenous to America, how come we're not indigenous to mankind and the time or this time period? I'm
The
sorry.
thing about it is that when it comes down to like who was originally here, definitely wasn't the white people, and that's a fact because they came from somewhere else. And even the way how we got here, we didn't come here voluntarily. They brought us the fuck here. And it was okay when we was working for free, but then when we weren't slaves, oh, y'all gotta go back. Like,
I know, right? No, we can't go back to a place that we're from. We how, how you gonna tell somebody to go back, leave a land that's a piece of the land that we were already from? So whoever's watching this, I'm gonna need everybody to do some research, and I'm gonna look it up too.
you know what? Speaking of such, I came up across something earlier because I'm like, it's fucked up because the way how they lied to us, it makes no sense. But you know, King James from the King James version of the Bible, they try to make it seem like he was a white man. But there's something where they said there was a painting of him within a quilt. And the thing about the quilt is that it shows him as if he's a black man. You know, it makes him seem as if he's a black man.
Huh? No, I've never heard that before.
Okay, I got my proof. I think I took screenshots and stuff. So I'm about to get into it. But basically, girl, I just saw this today too. You never heard that, so that's news. Okay, so go on Google and look up because you could probably screen share.
Mm-hmm.
Go on Google, look up King James. What did I look up? Come on, Google, don't do me like this. Look up. Damn. Yo, this is some bullshit. Why my Google is frozen? That's how you know when they don't want the truth to come out. Like my Google is frozen. Like I'm here looking in my search history trying to find what.
That's cool. I got some stuff pulled up. Let me share
No,
screen.
but
Tab.
there was a particular thing, and I know I have a screenshot. Hmm.
Because you're talking a picture of King James.
Yes, and I
A
just
lot
looked
of
it
the
up, and it's
art
not.
from back then, a lot of the art from back then was whitewashed. It was a lot of black folk King James,
Yes, that's why
and,
I was thinking of that because I'm like, it's crazy.
and their
Like,
faces are painted over with paint to make the people look like them when really it was us.
let me find this shit so I could show you because I'm like, okay, this got to get muted.
Do you see anything familiar? But I do see, like, where it's backed up, like King James, he wrote the Bible,
Look
1611.
up King James.
Is that
I
it
don't
right
know what the rest of it says. It says the rest of it says something about the. Okay, look up Henry Lord Darnley.
there? So he was a Hebrew born in the tribe of Judah.
Okay, look up Henry Lord Darnley, the first reunion of Christendom on Google, and then go to images.
Oh, King Consort. You said go to images. See how pale he looks.
Hold on, did you type in Henry HenryLord Henry Lord Darnley?
Yeah, you're not looking at the screen.
Hold on, I will have to zoom in to make sure you typed it in because that's not what I'm seeing. No, but Henry Lord Darnley, and then now you're gonna add the first reunion of Christendom, Christendom, DEM. Yeah, just put in DEM.
NDEN.
Dem. I'm dumb. DOM. Sorry. DOM. NDOM. Yeah, that. Christian. I think it's the one on the bottom. CRISTE. Now go to images. And now click on. Chick, yours is different from mine. Scroll. It's a red book. Whoa. Okay, scroll. You see that red?
Oh, okay.
Yep. And I don't know what that is, but mine has different
Is it sharing?
well basically I could
Okay.
see.
Oh, because this tab because I need to share the another.
Yeah, but basically if you look at this, can you see it good? But because pretty much what they were saying is that Lord Darnley, which is King James' father, was a black guy. So the picture I saw originally was him, but then they showed the thing about this book is crazy because just earlier. Okay, go to the search results. Okay, look at that. But if you go to the search results, it's people that's talking. They're like, Can you believe like they really tried to hide the fact that King James was a black man?
But which king? James the first?
Hmm?
Which King James? Is it King James the first or?
I think it's the one in that book.
Well, of course, because it's the same one that you. Okay, so it must be King James the sixth. Okay, because the V is stands for five in Roman numerals, and then the I or the one is shows King James the sixth or I, or did that mean King James the first also?
That was the thing. This is supposed to be based off of the article that I read today. It was pretty much supposed to be the um the one that the Bible is supposed to be written from, whichever one.
Yes.
That's why it was so important because they're like, oh, this is the King James, the King James version of the Bible, that King James. That's who
Yeah.
this is supposed to be. I don't know
Yeah.
whether it's the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. I don't know. But they're supposed to be saying that this is the King James that wrote that, that the Bible is based off of his, you know?
Yes. So I'm not surprised because with the Moors, that he in Europe related at some point.
Hold on,
They're
say that
all
again.
all the let me look this up so I won't be talking out of my ass. All Europe
But
is
pretty much I
related.
came across that somebody had posted that today. It's actually on this phone, so I can't even show it to you. But they had posted a status and where they talk about it, and I was like, so I started looking it up, and I was
All of
like,
the monarchs, yes, all the royal descendants. So it says thanks to a history of intermarriage and white folks be doing, cousins marrying cousins. Because the same day that DMX died, Prince Philip passed away also.
oh wow.
The Queen's husband, the Queen of England's husband. That's his grandmother and his grandfather. So his grandfather just passed away. So if that's Queen Elizabeth, it's also, common that he's her second, third, or fourth cousin also. So that's her cousin.
That's crazy.
So she married her cousin. But that's how all these royal families are connected. So it's thanks to a history of marriage. Europe's royal families are all tied to each other in some way. For instance, Queen Elizabeth II is cousins with Europe's monarchs, including Carl, I don't know what number that is, of Sweden, Margaret of Denmark, and Belgian ruler Albert II. Related, and because they're related, we, of course, came from us, but because we were brought over from Africa, because slave I hope I really want to say this the correct way. Our sisters are connected to them also. So I'm watching African Americans Many Rivers to Cross, Henry Louis Gates Jr. It's on YouTube. Because of our lineage of being raped and mistreated by white folks who are connected to the kingdom and the England shit like that, if you go back in our lineage, in our bloodline,
Mm-hmm.
them also. Everybody's inner fucking twined in the world, and it's so creepy.
Yeah. Like, especially if you overthink it too, because I'm like, I don't know. Shit is crazy.
So creepy. Like, oh yeah, girl, don't let me get started. There's a map. There's a map of all the England, all the roy. Here it is. Here it is. Here's how everybody is related. And I hope this is shown clear.
Okay.
Okay, so let me share that tab because that's I'm gonna go ahead and share that tab because it took me to something else. Share screen, Chrome tab. Okay, so it starts all the way from the Roman Empire, from the Roman Empire.
Okay.
So let me see if I can go ahead. Ugh, no, I don't want to do that. So this right here, this started from the European royal family tree. What we see now, Queen Elizabeth, Princess Diana, even though she wasn't, formally, but in some way she was related, is they can trace shit back with slavery. And that is some their lineage goes all the way back to Charlemagne.
You said Charlemagne.
Yeah, he was a Roman Empire ruler. His name was
Oh.
Charlemagne. Also, I know, right? He's not Charlemagne the God.
I
He's
was about to say, like,
but it supposedly starts from him. But hell, for all we know, Charlemagne could have been a nigga also.
shit.
So as we can see, if you're looking at the screen, our viewers, it starts from Charlemagne, and then whatever kids he had, whoever this person is over here that's connected to Charlemagne's lineage, and whoever's this person over here that's connected to Charlemagne's lineage. So he had his kids, and back in the day when people had kids, they had kids. But then again, the life expectancy wasn't as long also. So if somebody had a whole kids, a lot of people die during childbirth, and that's why they feel like they need to sleep with each other to keep their lineage going because ill. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can
But
hear.
so let's just down because you see this long ass all connected, all this shit right here, all this bullshit right here, new colors.
Mm-hmm.
All this shit right here, all the way down to there's Queen Elizabeth, Prince Harry's grandmother. This is her husband who just passed away, Prince was it Prince Philip? And they had Prince Charles, and then Prince Charles had, Henry and was it William? What are their names that he had with Princess Diana, those two kids?
Girl, don't even get me the line. I can't tell you.
Well, yeah, one of them's married to Meghan Markle. Prince Harry. His name is Harry and he, which is so fucking stupid. But anyway, but yeah, that all that shit comes down to them. Also, they're also related to monarchs and royalty in other countries, and they all have their own seal with the countries and stuff like that. So, girl, whew,
That's crazy.
it's a rabbit hole for me because we started with something else and we went to something else. But yeah, so I'm trying to figure out how the hell we got to that. We got to that because we are still confused about why we're being told to get the fuck out of America and go back to Africa when we are right where we're supposed to be because we own this shit.
Basically, that's the thing. A lot of people like say, like, oh, you even like talking to my my mom's dad's side of the family. Like, like my great grandmother, my mom's mom's side of the family, they're like from South Carolina. My mom's dad's side of the family, they're from Brooklyn, but before Brooklyn, they was in Philly. So
Where
I
were
was
they
like,
before Philly?
that's the thing. They were always like, the thing is that they was always in Philly, from what we understand. A lot of people from the South, you're gonna assume like, okay, racism was like more of a Southern thing.
No, it was everywhere though. Because just because people thought they were, they were up north, they didn't, because there were slave catchers coming up north, going all the way into Canada. That's why black folks had to be careful, and that kind of low key, well, it not low key, but it did birth the story of Solomon. What was 12 Years a Slave about? Who was the person it was about? Solomon Platt.
Solomon Norton. According to History versus Hollywood, 12 Years a Slave is based on the autobiography of Solomon Norton. Northup, a black man who was born tricked to go to Washington, D.C., where he was kidnapped and sold into detail.
So these white folks are fucking treacherous, and blow up, and and they talking shit. But white folks, your people are fucking treacherous, and I don't want to hear that bullshit talk about some. Oh, I'm not my ancestors. That's what my ancestors did. No, I think it's embedded in you that you have a little bit of twinge of racism in your ass crack, and that's why you have to suppress certain feelings and certain thoughts that you have about niggas. And I don't want to hear that. Oh, I color. Aren't we all human beings? I don't think so. I think white folks are the beasts. They're
It's interesting. Like, cause when I think about it, like growing up, like I didn't really know that racism was a real thing. Like cause in New York, like you see white people, it's like you don't really think nothing of it. Cause that's why I feel like, okay, racist. I didn't know, like I didn't feel no type of way until I came down south. When my mom moved us down south, that's when I was like, it's a little tension when you around white folks out here. It was like, it was different. Like I ain't even gonna hold you. That's how I knew like something was kind of off. Like
they
I
know
really,
that y'all asses from New York. They know y'all not from here, especially when you have like you wear your flag, your Jamaican flag, and you all the way down. And of course, you got some crazy ass looks because oh my god, where did those from? Go back you came from. Like, no, bitch, no, 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 no.
girl.
Whew, we was on here a whole fucking hour talking about this shit,
I
and
know.
all this
Oh yeah,
stemmed
and
from
it's still
them.
one more thing I need to touch base on because we started to talk about them, and the thing about them is that it was pretty much about racism and like remember I sent you this article the other day, and this is I want to talk about this because this is like important because it's like the shit that happened in them is like even though it may not have been a real actual story, but a lot of the racial activities that happen, people really experienced that unfortunately back then. But it's sad because even in this day and time, we're still experiencing stuff like that. So pretty much I had sent Peaches this article that I came across the other day, a true life story, like real life. It was on Yahoo.
Oh yeah,
So on Friday, April the 30th, this article was posted. The title of the article, it says, three suspects charged in home invasion of Black family in Michigan. Family says racial slurs were shouted. But hold on, pause. You see how in them, even though them, wasn't, real, but you see how when when they came for the baby, she didn't go for no gun or nothing like that, right? But
yeah,
when they moved to the other neighborhood, she was more prepared. She was loading them that gun. She was putting them bullets in. She, So
yeah.
this, but with this article, it just made me think like, damn. But pretty much what it says is just after midnight on Monday, a mother of
Oh, I did see this because
a
I saw it
mother.
somewhere else.
Yeah, you saw what, this article?
Yep, this right here, right?
Yes, that's what I'm reading to you guys. It says just after midnight on Monday, a mother and her two children were awakened by sounds of intruders breaking into their Walled Lake, Michigan home. The mother's 13-year-old son heard the commotion and swiftly woke up his 9-year-old brother. Moments later, the two boys' mother was in their room armed with a gun and shooting through the bedroom window at the intruders. She called her husband, who was working overnight in Detroit while all of this was going on, and he said he could hear the attackers using the N word while threatening his family. Two white men and one white woman were charged in the invasion and have had their bonds set, which is concerning to the community, especially the family whose home they allegedly invaded. That's crazy. They getting out on fucking bond. The thing is that I came across this article, and then remember, I just found out today what really happened with the baby and them. And I'm like, it's a similar situation. The lady and the two guys invaded their home, you know?
Uh uh-huh.
And then that shit happened on a show, and that shit is happening in real life. Like, how the fuck we know they didn't get that idea from fucking watching that show? Like, this shit is
Mm,
crazy.
mm.
Like, why do they coming in and people, and then mind you, they set on bond and they letting them out. Let them fucking rot in hell. And I mean, in jail.
So the two men were given bond
I
$5,000
want
a surety bond, and the bitch she got $350,000 bond.
my thing is that only God knows what they was gonna do to those people. Like, but because they never killed them, they can't. Like, that shit is some bullshit. She should have shot and killed them. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I feel like that, but them getting out, it just lets me know that these people, they're grown ass adults. They're not little kids who made a mistake and who was being young and dumb. They're grown adults who intentionally went to somebody's house who wasn't theirs to try to break in. For what reason?
Incident, much of which was caught on camera because they have security. That's why people need security cameras. Graves reported has had several warrants for assault, battery, and failure to appear in court. Patria, the bitch, has one prior conviction on her criminal record. So these are thugs. These are actual fucking thugs. These are the thugs that that are going to break into your home when they thought that we were going to break into their home. No, these white thugs right here. These are the thugs you need to look out for.
Okay, so basically, when I'm looking at the charges, they could face up to 20 years and a fine of $5,000, and then pretty much for this for the and that's for breaking in. That's for home invasion, and then for it says ethnic intimidation charges are felonies punishable by up to 2 years.
Yep.
I'm like, yo, this is some bullshit. And what they don't, and it's sad because within the show, them, it's basically showing and proving like how some people are literally being driven crazy by
Oh
the.
yeah. The other black family. I think they were in their neighborhood, and the wife was doing some investigating, and that was where Anika Nunny Rose, her character, she comes up in the show, and she was being harassed in her neighborhood also, and she was driven crazy. But it of course the ghost element, the ghost story element, goes along with it also. So they're trying to, I think it was a slick ass way to make it seem like, oh, because the area is haunted, the white ghost was making the white people harass the black folks more than they would have already done it, because he doesn't like black people because he was a racist back in his time. Like, no, like they're still gonna harass them, but now because the area is fucking haunted, that that just adds on to it also. So I guess it might have spread out to where Anika Nani Rosa's character, where she lives at her house that they bought. Um, so she did kill her two boys, and her husband came out in the wheelchair, and I think she had cut his legs off. It was so fucking crazy. Oh yeah, she asked. So
Hold
where?
on. But you
What?
know when they went back, remember when her husband came and she went back to the house and she's like, show him. Like basically, clearly what happened was she was having a crazy moment. You know that, right?
Yeah, yeah, she was having a moment, but didn't she ended up killing her, killing them also? No,
No, it
it
was
was the
another
people.
lady who basically,
It was
was
the people in the house before them.
yeah, I think so. Because remember, she went to go see the lady at the crazy house, and she went to go
Yeah,
see her,
yeah,
and she
yeah.
basically was asking her what happened, and she was pretty much telling her the. You see, it's crazy because it's Miss Vera, and then
Did you
it's the
see the man
guy.
in the black hat? Yeah.
Yep, and then it's the guy with the black hat. So it's different people that's like talking to them and convincing them to do this craziness.
But that shit, it did fuck with me because she was like, "Where are your boys? Are they in school?" And then the oven dinged. She was like, "There they are." Like, oh, gross, bitch, really?
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, the lady that she saw in the crazy house, she made her. First of all, bitch, you're not gonna make me get on my knees and eat bleach. You better get the fuck out of here because we'd have been some fight motherfuckers in that house that night. I don't give a damn. I know you going crazy, you having a fucking moment, but like, no.
Mm-mm. That is what happened to them. She poured because I was wondering like what she was because basically she made them get on their knees and she poured bleach on them and then pretty much that's what killed them. And they opened their mouths. What she was trying to clean them, she said. But it's so
Girl,
crazy because they use something in the Bible, like of white as snow, make my skin white as snow. I think that's in the Bible. It was something she was reciting, right?
it's because it's referencing. I just want to explain it and then I'll look at the Bible verse. Sinned, you feel dirty and unclean. So after you've repented and you've given your life to the Lord or whatever, and you, after you've repented, God's grace and His mercy will wash you clean. The cleanliness is being metaphor as being, oh, I'm clean, I'm white as snow. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And this song by LaShawn Pace called "I Know I've Been Changed." It says, how can a white cow eat green grass and produce white milk? But in God's laboratory of redemption, He took my black soul and made it white as snow. I know I've been changed. So it all reference verse. And while you're elaborating on that, I'm going to look.
I was trying to look. You were looking at Isaiah 118.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, because, well, that's what I see. It says, come now, let us reason together, says the Lord. Through your sins, oh, though your sins are like scarlet, they shall be as white as snow.
Yes.
Let's see. That's crazy. Come on now, let us reason together, saith the Lord. Though your sins be as scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they be red like crimson, they should be as wool. Hmm. Interesting.
There
Just
has to be some more related Bible verses because it's some more that go in depth like that.
It's another one here that says, what is this? Psalms 51. It says, "Purge me with highest what? What's the word, Peaches? Hyssop?
Oh,
HYSSOP."
I don't know what you're looking at.
Okay, so it's Psalms 51, King James version. "Purge me with HYSSOP." What is that? Hyssop? Hyssop? I don't know. But this is from the Bible, y'all. "And I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow."
Let me go ahead and share this.
I want to know how to pronounce this word.
Not that.
What's hyssop? My phone is low.
Hyssop.
Hyssop.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay. I just had to look that up. Now, what we was looking at on here?
I went out somewhere else too. Um, how do we get there to the Bible verses?
What you mean? Oh, we was talking about the white as snow thing because remember in the movie, because we were still talking about them a little bit. In the movie, I mean, in the show, them, you know, the lady who killed her husband and two kids. Remember, she made
They
them
were
drink.
unclean. Yep, they were unclean. She was trying to, and then Anika Nani Rose, when she was having her crazy moment, she was saying, I clean day and night. I clean to get everything clean. She was saying that she cleans day and night when her hands were all rough and shit. But the white guy, the white racist ghost, he was saying that the black folks that came to them were unclean. The whole village was unclean. And really, it was the devil that was persuading him to have those two black folks killed. Did you
Yeah.
notice that?
Yeah.
And he had made the deal with the devil, that little boy Miles. That was not a little boy, that was the devil in human form. And because his wife and his son had passed away, he asked where God was. And the answered you and he didn't. And it's so ugh. It's so creepy and poetic and biblical all at the same time. So
Mm-hmm.
So when people talk to themselves, when people ask, I want God to talk to me and send me a sign, please be careful, even with the voices that you hear that you think is a message. Even have discernment with that, because the devil can come in and make it seem like he's something else when really he's just trying to lure you into his path. So that's why people say, with a sound mind and body, like you really have to pray for a sound mind. You really do. Because the devil is busy. Who see we have got some Bible verses and a message to go along with it. Hey, yeah, God. So
Yeah.
yeah. Huh. And I guess that was metaphored with the daughter also when she had a white face, because ugh, I still can't believe like she
But basically, then the girl that was, remember she was possessed with the white girl that was, making her do all of this stuff. So
yeah.
she herself was like, it wasn't her. It was the freaking, the girl told her like, oh, come to tryouts, and basically she was in the basement by herself. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that whole show, it was definitely interesting. It made me overthink. It had me on Google because I'm like, how the fuck does shit like this even happen to people? My
Uh,
biggest fear was just like, it wasn't even like, what the racist people was doing to them. It's the fact that like they sitting there and they seeing shit. you know,
yeah.
that thing was deep. It was real deep. I ain't even gonna hold you.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was deep. So like I said, that movie I saw on Prime. Is it anywhere else? Because I know for sure it's on Prime, guys.
It's strictly on Amazon Prime.
I go get that Prime. You feel me? You feel me? You feel me? You feel me? Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of the Bible versus DMX, I know we're late. Well, we're not late. We're late for his funeral because we covered him passing away and we tried to connect it to some other shit that was going on. But um, the last time we went live, they didn't have his funeral yet. I think his funeral was that Saturday from when we went live. So,
Yep, it sure was. It was the following because it was 424 when they actually did the services. Um, yep. So we could touch base. I know we've been on here for an hour and 20 minutes, but we could just touch base on it. But what were you gonna say about DMX and the Bible verses and stuff?
no, I was just making the connection because ladies talk about him. They say they.
Hold on, it's breaking up. What you said?
I hear celebrities talk about DMX. A lot of them say, well, they do say
Okay, wait, it's breaking up again. Okay, now can't hear anything at all. Try to come back. Try to go out and then come right back in. All right, say something.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. What you was saying now?
I was making a connection because when I talk about DMX, they say that Bible back and forth. You know, everybody's been sharing those videos of him praying, and
Oh yeah, you said that everybody what they used to say about him.
he knew that Bible back and.
You know what's so crazy? You know, I'm glad that you brought this up because this kind of slipped my mind. But what you call it, Farrakhan? You know, Farrakhan.
Yep, he spoke at his funeral.
He spoke at DMX's funeral and he called DMX a god. So basically, and honestly, like I see like what I'm realizing is that like even if you look into the Bible, like a lot of the times like God took people like out of who had some bad backgrounds, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and he basically used these people to end up motivating and inspiring other people and becoming better people. But at the end of the day, me and my brother was just actually watching something the other day. It was this guy. He was like a hood Dr. Umar, and he was talking about how DMX died, and he was basically trying to bash him for drugs. I'm like, at the end of the day, everybody has something that they addicted to, whether it be
Dr.
the
Umar
drugs.
him.
No. It's a I don't know the guy name, but my brother described him as a hood version of Dr. Umar. He be on YouTube, and it's actually the interesting thing about the guy that my brother told me was that the guy is blind in one eye. So he's from Texas, I think. So if y'all
Oh,
know who I'm talking about, call him out. But I can't tell you his name. I'm so bad with names. But he's a big influencer. But anyways, he was talking and trying to say, like DMX did that to himself. I'm like, we live in a world where when somebody passed, don't sit there and try to like make it seem like that's all he did was use drugs. That's not all he did. He did a lot of great shit. He came across a lot of people that he uplifted, in his time here. And I hate the fact that people try to say just because I promise you, everybody on the face of this earth has something that they addicted to, whether it be watching shows, whether
right
it be.
now it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, it just passed. It
Oh
just
man, I see
passed.
the 1, 2, 3 though. That's crazy.
It just passed. But go ahead.
I see 1, 2, 3, but yeah, girl, you done threw me off. Like
I'm
just
sorry. I like these numbers and everything being connected. It yeah.
yeah, it's like divine timing. You feel me? I'm like, girl. Anyways, I was talking about like I don't like DMX. To me, he was great. One thing that I didn't know about DMX that I know now is that DMX has. They said 17 kids.
15.
15.
15 fucking kids. That's a lot of girl. And he didn't do anything. He taught you the Bible and he was fucking on earth. He
That
did
much
what he
true.
came here to do. He was reading the Bible and fucking. he just wasn't fucking. He was fucking. So for 15 kids by what, 8 women? Or is it 10 women?
Mm, that's the
So
thing.
he can pray and he can fuck. So he was fucking. So yeah,
But
we
to
brought up.
think that he's gonna live a long time. I'm
Mm,
trying to find the
I wonder how many of his kids are gonna become rappers. Did you see his daughter rapping at the
yeah,
funeral?
that's what I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find the snippet of his daughter.
Well, I'm on my YouTube now. Let me go ahead and because I have it. DMX daughter raps at funeral. Okay, here it is. Let me share it on the stream yard.
You found it?
Yep, I have it. Sonova Jr. Okay. All
What?
right. Her
My
name.
dad taught me to be strong. I
Yeah.
learned so much from him. So I dedicate this song to him. Ayo, I'm growing, I'm learning to hold my head up. Ayo, I'm growing, I'm learning to hold my head up. Ayo, I'm growing, I'm learning to hold my head up. My daddy's still holding my hand, so I gotta stand up. Ayo, I'm growing, I'm learning to hold my head up. Ayo, I'm growing, I'm learning to hold my head up. Ayo, I'm growing, I'm learning to hold my head up. My daddy's still holding my hand, so I gotta get up. Ayo, I learned so much from my father. He taught me life in my story. I'm the author. He taught me to be strong, but it's okay to be afraid. Cause sometimes it'll show you how to be brave. I know how to get up whenever I fall. I never give up. I give it my all. 'Cause I know I'm big even though I look small. Looking at my daddy's picture on the wall. I know he want me to be the best I can be. Nobody else. I gotta be me. My brothers and sisters, we all stand together. Throw up the X. Daddy forever. I learned how to understand the
Okay.
good and the bad. I look in the mirror, sometimes I see my dad. I know he's with God, cause I know he loved him. When he was here, he put nobody above him. He taught me how to pray when I wake up and for when I go to sleep. Pray for my family. Pray before I eat. And sometimes when I feel sad and weak, I can still hear him speak. Yeah. By all means, I'ma do what's right. Even in the dark, I'ma be the light. I can do it. Even when I'm feeling sad, y'all call him DMX.
But I
I
told him,
Yo, I'm
Dad.
growing, I'm learning to hold my head up. Yo, I'm growing, I'm learning to hold my head up. And yo, I'm growing, I'm learning to hold my head up. My daddy's still holding my hand, so I gotta stand up. And yo, I'm growing, I'm learning to hold my head up. And yo, I'm growing, I'm learning to hold my head up. And yo, I'm growing, I'm learning to hold my head up. My daddy's still holding my hand, so I gotta stand up. People all over
Oh,
the world showing
put the
love.
X
I
up.
say thank you and to God up above. I know my daddy's
Oh, she
watching,
wasn't
shining
finished.
down on me. I can feel his love raining down on me. I know my daddy's watching, shining down on me. I can feel his love raining down on me. So throw your X's up, and if you slip and you fall, you gotta get up. And yo, I'm growing, I'm learning to hold my head up. And yo, I'm growing, I'm learning to hold my head up. And yo, I'm growing, I'm learning to hold my head up. My daddy's still holding my hand, so I gotta stand up.
I know that's right. Oh, that is so sweet. And she wrote that herself. That is
Mhm.
mini DMX. Yo,
You know, it's interesting because they're gonna have
they go, ooh.
yeah, she's like I like that. Like I had screen recorded that. That's exactly what I was trying to find because I had my little screen recording. Oh my what you call it? My phone is on like 10%. So we gotta it's going
Oh, okay. So let's get to the ratchet shit that was going on. I know that was cute. His daughter was rapping everything. But girl, oh my God. Let me go back on this tab. So Black Rob also passed away. So there was some shenanigans at his funeral. I just don't like when black folks pass away, why the fuck do we have to act a fool at other people's funerals? And we know damn well we don't want nobody doing that to our shit.
You know, honestly, oh man, like I said, from just experience, I noticed that especially like when a lot of like these quote unquote hood guys pass away, their family, their friends, they be drunk as shit. They can't even conduct themselves in a civilized manner because they drunk and they in their feelings and they pouring it all out. You know, the sad part is that the average person can't sit up. The average person that's not under the influence of any type of drugs, they will not get up in front of a whole bunch of people and be open and vulnerable like that. You understand? So they got
Exactly.
liquor in their system. That's the only way they could probably be that vulnerable. And being that they got liquor in their system, they can't even control their feelings and their emotions and basically think and act logically. So it just was a hot mess. That I blame it. I blame alcohol and drugs. That's all I'm gonna say.
So let's get to this Dusty that was at DMX's funeral being rude.
I too am Earl's best friend, and we've been on the road with him for the last couple of years. And this album would have not happened if we were not around. If we did not suffer through the pandemic and take Earl Simmons out of his house, drive an RV down south, and complete this album. I've been his friend for 20 years. 20 years I've been his friend, and I've been around him. I'm not an industry dude, and we got similar stories. Just like him with his grandmother, I have a grandmother that raised me, and I love my grandmother. I have a dog. I have similar stories. We both were in institutions when we were young. And I want to give you a story to how our lives paralleled and cross each other. Tashira said something here tonight that struck me, and I never knew it. She said that she seen X steal a purse or a pocketbook. That's the same thing I did as an adolescent when I was about 9 to 10 years old. And that put me in the group home in Yonkers. That's how I ended up in Yonkers. So I knew Earl Simmons since '89. And he was 7 years my senior. But I was a fan of his before he even realized it, because he was a local hero in the music industry, in the music scene as an underground artist. He did shows at School 12 and in Commerce, and the group home was right next door to Commerce. And I'm gonna tell you,
who gives a shit?
He was a part of that story. And my name is Jungle, by the way. So I'm letting y'all know for the ones that don't know me. All right.
Here's what I'm gonna do, brother. My brother. Over here, yeah. Over here, my brother.
Over here, nigga.
First of all, no. There's order. There's respect. You violated order. You violated respect. All right. Respect, but you disrespected my house. You disrespected my house.
What you telling me?
Regardless of how good you think what you got to say is, you disrespected my house.
I don't know who y'all is.
God bless you, my brother.
But what did he say that? Because why did he cut him off though? Like, what was he saying that was wrong?
God bless you, my brother.
The point that was being made from the pastor is because this nigga jumped up on stage and did that shit.
Oh.
Disrespectful, wanting to be seen, and you saw it more. We actually saw it more with Black Rob's funeral, and I'm about to show that before your phone goes dead.
Oh yeah.
Oh my! It was just horrible. Like, why this? Okay, so let's see. Is it this nigga right here?
All right, this one right here, it's hurt. Because Robbie, name is Florida. PR. All around the world. Never asked for nothing. Gave me his coat. I held this. I got Rob a million times, and I will get you more. I know Black Rob. I know the pain. I love that man, and I want to say to him,
Coming, guys.
kind to all of us Jeff Mob, Wagner, the whole East Side. This is a real. Stand up. This is a real. Listen. Stand there before the wall. I was there. I was there before the Bacardi Club. This is Puerto Rock. I ain't never taken from that man. I was for that man. And if you know me, you know today to let everybody know. Thank you. Thank you for showing my man love. Black. Go.
Good evening. I know everyone wants to talk, but due to get into the cemetery time and the funeral home, we have to read that. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to hear from the family, and then if we still have time, we're going to hear from a few more reflections. Okay?
Hold up.
Right here.
Brother.
Why is it skipping?
Days, weeks, months, years, some of these people in there talking that talk, you wasn't even there for him. Shh, be quiet. You real Black Raw. Other stuff, that's ain't saying nothing else. That's enough. Y'all thinking all the wrong people. All right, let's start thinking the real people. For just ass child, Black Raw. All right, they killed 118 projects. He was there with his grandmother, Mrs. Ross and Chevelle. Thank all the right people. If you're gonna talk about it, some of y'all would have made a phone call, would have talked to him, would have just called him. Check on him like you do your Instagram, your Facebook. He needed that. He freaking needed it. You understand what I'm saying? Where were you at then? Let's shout out to all the people back in Jefferson Projects that gave Rob something to eat, some damn clothes to put on, food on his back, even though that boy done did a hell of a thing wrong to him. Let's go back to Robert Raw's days. If you want the truth, here we go. I probably don't have all that time, but I'm going to shut it down. It's enough of this already. Y'all wasn't there. Some of y'all wasn't there when the rough times was there. Once y'all seen it was chicken, it was popping, everybody was everybody. Everybody wanted to be something to say. Where were you at, troops, when he really needed that love, that little bit of this, all this yelling, screaming, fighting, this acting, fronting, going crazy with each other? We ain't brought up like that.
Who the fuck brought him up to jump in front of people's families at their damn funeral?
Girl, you know when people be overly emotionally. I mean, you know it's
You can be emotional at home. That lady clearly said to make it to the cemetery on time and put this man in the dirt. We need to hear from his family. All them people up in white that was on stage, those were his kids. His kids couldn't even fucking talk first because
hold on, I can't hear
around
you.
while he was really
Okay.
they weren't.
Girl, that shit was. It was like honestly, there's three ways of thinking. There's the logical way, there's the wise way, and then there's the emotional way. Them motherfuckers was emotional as shit. And plus, like I said, if they have liquor in their system, it's even worse. Can you hear me? My phone is on 3%.
I can hear you. Well, since your phone is on 3%, we're going to end the podcast. I know it was a lot of all over the place. It was a lot of just stuff, but hopefully y'all got what we were trying to say, and hopefully it'll be like more newsworthy stuff to talk about. Because
Yeah. Hopefully you guys got it because I know there was a little bit of connection issues, but like I said, we talked about them. That's something to think about. Definitely something to think about. And like I said, especially with that article. Hmm.
And go and watch Selena season 2 on Netflix right now. Catch up on them if you on Amazon Prime if you haven't seen it, and then catch up on The Handmaid's Tale. Huh?
Okay. The sounds really crazy for some reason. But again, my phone is on 1%, so if it drops, I'm
Oh
just
shit. All right, well, be blessed, stay black, fuck the police, and we'll see y'all next week, okay?
yes. Thank you for tuning in tonight, guys. We just
Ooh.
podcast. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that. All right, we out.